Cricket is my passion and I cannot avoid it.
Hello to all the beautiful people around the world. The last time when we had our star guest Veda on the show, she had predicted India is going to win. But now we've got her after a week and things have turned around where Pakistan has upset India, I would use the word, or probably beaten India, to discuss all about what happened in the last game, as well as what's going to happen tonight against Sri Lanka. Welcome to the show, Veda.
Thank you so much. You did say that I wouldn't call it an upset, to be honest. Like, India and Pakistan is something, both of them have been doing really well in T20 format. It's just that, like I said, whoever plays good cricket on that day will eventually end up winning, especially in a T20 format. And if I would take the word that Pakistan's beaten India, then, Pakistan is, I wouldn't say it's an upset.
Oh, you're absolutely right. In fact, they stretched India in the first game too. Probably I felt that the rub of the green went India's way in the first match. And in the second match, they came back after the thrashing the fast bowlers got with the spinners. And they planned the chase well and won it emphatically in the end, with, even though 1.5, rather 2 balls to spare.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important you have partnerships, especially when you're chasing. And if you have, someone like a Rizwan or a Babar who can play that anchor role, because Pakistan's got the firepower. They've got Nawaz, they've got Asif Ali, who can come and hit those sixes in crucial minute. And it's the same thing what happened when India played in the first game as well. There was Virat who kind of stayed, for the larger part of the innings. And it was the ability of six hitting of Hardik and, Jadeja. It came to the rescue of the Indian team. Like, if you look at it, the chase, how they planned was pretty similar. Both India and Pakistan are looking at chasing in a certain way, and it's not just them. If you look at entire world cricket, I think they kind of the famous MS Dhoni formula, what he has been doing for all this while, take the game till the deep end, make sure you don't lose enough wickets. When you have wickets in hand, no matter if it is even 15 runs per over, you've got the ability to do it in the last over. And that is something, I mean, it's not just them, it's even in women's cricket. If you look at it, the things how we go about have completely changed. We kind of wait till the last 3-4 overs, even though the run rate is above 10-11, we kind of make sure that we stick to that, so that when we come to the last three, we have wicket in hand. And it's just matter of 1, 6 and a 4 where things can come in the favor of a batting team.
That brings my next question. You said take the game deep. So it was India's inability to pick wickets in the second match after having a score of 180. So where did we go wrong? Where did our bowlers go wrong, Veda?
I mean, it's not about, I wouldn't say inability to pick wickets. It's for the fact that you know that, like I said, if it is required rate is about 10, and if it still sticks to 10, 12, even till the 15th over, and you've got wickets in hand, you always prefer the batting side to go and chase it down. Because, like I said, 10, 12 runs per over, when you look at it, 3 overs sounds like 3 overs, 35 runs. But if you break it down, it's just a matter of if you hit 3 sixes or 4 sixes, and everybody counts like that. Nobody counts how many singles you need, how many singles, but it's like 30 balls. If I can get 4 sixes, I'm home. That is the calculation nowadays, how batters go about it. And all thanks to all these big leagues where people look about things in that way. And like I said, it's not just men's cricket, it's us as well. Like, if you're sitting in dugout, I've had so many conversation with Harman when she goes about stuff. I asked her, like, this is the equation. She's like, oh, it's just a matter of 4 sixes. So that's how you can make it, like, they say keep things simple. It's about keeping things simple. Inability to take wickets is something in T20 cricket. It's not about how many wickets you can get. This is not test cricket where you have to get the team all out. It is about making sure that you get right time you get those breakthroughs so that you can put some breaks for that scoring rate, and in which India was not able to do it. And like I said, Pakistan chased really well. They had wickets in hand. They had the big hitters who was there. Nawaz played a blinder, scoring 42 of just 20 balls, I think, coming and scoring those sixes, and you have left and right combination. It kind of, if it's your day, it's going to be difficult for anybody to get out, because it's just short spans and things can change within those short spans.
Well, Veda thinks that the players take the game deep. She feels that India tried but did not get wickets. But I want to come to the point. We picked Deepak Huda in the squad. The idea to have Deepak Huda was that he could probably roll his arm. But we stuck to the 5 bowlers we had in our main team. Probably an over or two when Nawaz was early would have helped, because both Pandya did not have a good game with the ball, and so was, I would say, Yuzvendra Chahal was taken to the cleaners by Nawaz.
If you've seen the pattern how Rohit Sharma goes about, he makes sure that he gives his main bowlers, whoever he is, give them the full over or the full quota until and unless, if you have, like the first game, we see that there were 6-7 bowlers bowled, because everybody are someone who can bowl 4 overs. When you have someone like Jadeja and you don't, you miss out because of injury, he's someone who bowls you 4 overs regardless of what the wicket is. So on that particular day, if you see, he kind of stretched it out, made sure that he rotated the bowlers really well. When you have a target in mind, and when the fast bowlers go for runs initially, and then if you want to get a part-timer, it is something where you are very desperate at that point to get wickets, or you're banking your experienced bowlers who are supposed to bowl you 4 overs, give them a full quota and expect them to do it, rather than someone like a Huda who's a part-time. I understand for the fact that the idea what people are talking is he can come and bowl in a couple of overs or things like that, but it is like I said, he's not a straight swap to Jadeja. Like what Jadeja can do, Deepak probably will take some time to get to that level. We did speak about him in the first day. If anybody gets injured, he'll probably be the first draft in, regardless of who it is, whether it's a batter or an all-rounder. He will walk into the 11 with the form he has. But we have to understand, he played up the order in top 4 when he was scoring those runs, when Virat was not there. Now this is a different load, and it is not easy to bat at number 6, number 7. It's a very crucial role. You cannot just walk in someone who's batting at top 4 and come and do that job. But like I said, Deepak is very new in international cricket. He can probably be a potential replacement for Jadeja in near future, considering the injuries Jadeja has been having. He's no more in his 20s. He's in that age where probably a couple of years down the line, if he continues to be injured and stuff, Deepak is someone who is a lot younger and perfectly suits that role, and probably he'll be slowly gotten into that role of being a proper all-rounder. But like I said, it's the game of all-rounders now in T20, and though Jadeja was a little slow and batting and things like that, was an important partnership. He comes in, bowls quickly, those quick overs, he makes sure that he gets game in control. It's a huge loss for India at this moment, losing someone who can bat and bowl, and especially, and how good he is on the field. Like he's lightning quick. So that is something India is trying to probably plug in and figure out who can play that role. Yes, Deepak Huda is the immediate right choice to do it. But if you're going to throw in Deepak Huda in the deep end right at the beginning, and if he loses confidence, and that again is important. He's someone who's in a lot of confidence because he's scored runs and he's made his way into this Asia Cup. There was likes of Shreyas who was doing well. He's taken over all of them, and he's made it to the race, and he's in this squad, and he is looking forward that we feel that he might even be in the World Cup squad. You don't want the player to put in a deep end right at the beginning, and if he had come in and got hit or something, that will kind of mentally affect him when it comes to batting as well. So maybe he's trying to slowly fit him in that role, considering that injury scare is something which is not in our control. We can't have whatever 11 we want from the beginning itself. Maybe Jadeja was the major plan for India in this Asia Cup, and having lost him right at the beginning of the tournament, maybe they're trying to work out what can be the best possible way. I did read an interview where Rahul sir was saying that there's no more going to be
Off spinners.
trial errors. We're not going to do that. We are going to make sure we get our best 11. So maybe they're trying to figure out who can be that best possible replacement for Jadeja if he doesn't recover by the time of World Cup.
Well, Veda is quite optimistic. I'm afraid time is running out for India. We did talk about the same thing in the 2019 World Cup, and then we were not sure who is going to be our number 4, but we'll leave that for our next conversation. Going today, what's going to be our team against Sri Lanka?
I was pretty surprised that DK was not there in the Pakistan game, because they gave him enough run in that finisher role. Like I said, it's crucial. You need experience. You need that ability to walk in and hit sixes or fours. And that position is something you can't be meddling with a lot. You need to make sure that, there are people, regardless they get batting or not, you need to have that person in the 11 just to keep them going, saying that, look, we have confidence in you. Your place is secure. Just do the job for us. So I was pretty surprised that DK didn't make it in the 11. I think probably I would want him in the 11, and maybe I don't know if it's going to be in place of Rishabh or Deepak for me.
If you would like to have, whom would you drop, Rishabh or Huda for DK?
I think I would go with straight swap. I would go with DK with Rishabh. DK takes on the wicket keeping duty, and Deepak still can be an option. Someone can come and roll in a couple of balls. And for the fact that Deepak can bat higher, I think he can be someone who can bat at 5 where Rishabh is batting, and you have 5 Deepak, 6 Hardik, and 7 DK. I think that kind of looks more composed to me. Nothing against Rishabh. He's been a wonderful player. I'm just going with form at this point and who can do the job well for India.
That's absolutely right. If you have to see his record in T20 format, it's not been that something where we feel that DK should be in. And sometimes, as you said, you got to get the form player who's done well, like DK you mentioned. We'll have to wait and watch whether what happens today evening. But crunch came, Sri Lanka on the back of 2 big chases. Imagine India put into bat again. What should be India's game plan? Go bang bang or go slow?
Sri Lanka, I think, have been the dark horses this tournament. Nobody expected them to come out and play this way, especially the last game. I wouldn't even talk about the league stages where they beat Bangladesh and all. That is, yes, of course, you expect the nation, what Sri Lanka is, the things they've done in cricketing history. You want Sri Lanka to be in that Super 4 position. But the way they played against Afghanistan, to be honest, I think none of them expected that, they would be able to chase down that total, especially against Afghanistan bowlers, where their bowling has been literally their strength. If you look at it, not just in this Asia Cup, throughout their cricketing history, Afghanistan bowling attack has been something which is really, really impressive. They've got some class spinners, got some good bowlers, but Sri Lanka to go down and chase that target, I think would have given them a lot of confidence. That too, it is not like rusty, or where, how it was against Bangladesh. You literally didn't know what was going to happen, and Bangladesh bowling those no balls and things like that kind of helped in favor of Sri Lanka. But this was a classic clinical chase, I would say, what Sri Lanka did. Especially, you won't see big scores, but you don't need big scores. If you have everybody contributing 20, 30 runs, you can eventually make it up and, score whatever the target is. 180 was, I say, was above par score from Afghanistan. They batted brilliantly, especially Gurbaz and all. They played so well, but they were not able to hold their fort. When your main spinner, when Rashid goes for runs, it kind of puts Afghanistan on the back foot, saying that, oh, our best bowler is going for runs, probably everybody can go for runs. They're a young team, they've not played enough international cricket. You tend to lose concentration at that point. But I think straight marks to Sri Lanka for doing that clinical chase. They've been batting well, they've been bowling well, they look like a different team. There's a lot of energy when you look at it. They're not quiet on the field, they're talking, they're making sure that they are encouraging each other. So I'm expecting, since it's a must-win game for India now, for them to stay in the competition and make it to the finals, they have to win both the games. So it is going to be very crucial. And I would say India would be a little under pressure because you have, for the fact that you have to be in the finals regardless of what, because you are the Indian team. So that is something which is going to be there. So it is about how all of them regroup and come back. Plus, at the same time, Sri Lanka has nothing to lose today. They are going to go all out against India. They know for the fact that, if we lose, it's fine. But what if we win? There's a lot more for us than we lose. So there will be a lot of intent as well from Sri Lankan team. And if India bats first, they have to make sure they get about 180, 185 for them to stay in the chase. I know the target was chased down in both the games against, even Sri Lanka chased it down, Pakistan stayed it on. But I still feel it's a very par score. If you bowl well, you can absolutely defend it regardless of what it is.
Would probably, we're a little diplomatic about India's inability to take wickets. But what about India's inability to take on the spinners? In both the matches, we were quite poor.
That's been pretty strange, isn't it? Like, for the fact that if you look at 20, 25 years back, we were not sure about how we would play people bowling at 150 clicks at you, but spinners, no problem. We're going to cart you all over the world. And then when T20 cricket started, you literally felt that spin bowling is going to come to an end. Like, this is going to be an end. Spin bowlers can't survive. Then it came to a level where wrist spinners kind of came back into the play, but the finger spinners were out of action. And now you see a mixture of both finger spinners and wrist spinners coming back into this T20 format and making sure that we're not going anywhere, bro. We're here. We're going to survive in this format regardless of what it is. And I'm pretty surprised. Like, I did see some stats where all the batters, their strike rate is about 140, 150 against pace bowling, and it seriously drops down to 110, 115. And I think someone who's very similar is Surya, I think, with both pace and spin. Though spin is a little lesser, but there's no drastic change like how you see with the other batters. I'm sure that is something, they want to keep in mind with Hasaranga, in action. And Tiksana, especially Tiksana, we've seen how the impact he made in the IPL. So the Indian batters will be aware of him. It's not that they've not played against him. They know him. Hasaranga, of course, was with Virat Kohli. I'm sure there'll be a lot of secrets shared with his boys about his googlies, especially how effective he can get because he's quicker in the arm and quicker in the air. It's kids on. So there'll be a lot of conversation which is going to happen. And I think they have to designate one person, whoever is going to be in the middle, to make sure that you take on spinners, because after this, again, when we play Afghanistan next, again, it's Rashid and Mujib who's going to be in action. You have to make sure that you get enough runs in these 8 overs. You cannot just say, like, we'll tap around, we'll make sure that we get runs in the last 5. It's not going to work anymore like that. You have to make sure that power play, obviously, you're going to go for runs. And usually you see the middle overs a little quieter. but you have to make sure that middle overs you don't lose enough wickets and score as much as runs as you can against spin. At least if you can get about 8 runs per over, and that will happen if someone like maybe today if the spinners are bowling and someone like Surya Kumar who kind of sweeps and slog sweep, that kind of comes into effect. That is another thing I wanted DK in the squad as well, someone who can sweep really well. Like he picks the length really well, he sweeps really well. So these players are going to be crucial, especially when spin is bowling. So I think Rohit needs to sit and see, even if he has to send if there are enough overs, and if DK is there and Hardik is there, you probably would want someone like DK to walk in and just upset the line and length for the spinners and see how they will go. Because once you start sweeping, it's going to get difficult for the spinners to get their line and length. So it is all about mind game, I would say. Like, you matchups and things like that, you've got datas, just use them and see how to go about. Don't just keep a traditional batting order or a traditional approach. It's not just for the Indian team. I think it's overall for everybody who want to make an impact.
Veda, I hope you with sweep, you don't mean reverse sweep what Rishabh Pant played.
No, conventional sweep. That's why I mentioned conventional sweep.
All right, your player to pick for today. You've been talking a lot about Surya. He's not, I'm afraid, perform against the big boys in the last 2 games. I'm afraid that's the stats what show. And cricketers are determined by what they score in big games. You expect him to come good today?
Yes, I mean, he's had quiet games. He's someone who's very, very strong in the head. We've seen him, how he goes about things, stays calm and cool. I don't think so these couple of innings would have played that much of a role. Yes, if it continues, then it will start playing regardless of how strong you are in your head. It starts playing in your head. But I mean, I would say today's pick for me would be Virat. Like, he looked classic Virat Kohli last game when he played against Pakistan. The vintage Kohli, what we know, the confidence was oozing out, the determination, that hunger was there in his eyes, and how he went about things. So I would say Virat today. Like, he loves Sri Lanka, isn't it?
All right. So Veda says it's going to be Virat. The vintage Virat is back, and we all saw what he did in the last game. But India unfortunately fell short. But we'll have to see how India goes about today evening, and it's a must-win game. Otherwise, I'm afraid we are going to come back to square one. One other tournament gone. We only win bilateral series, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I don't want to come to that point.
Well, I don't want to come to that point as well. That was the whole reason of all this captaincy saga, which happened in the last few months, I would say, like handing over it to Rohit, expecting to bigger series. Obviously, you don't want to be just winning bilateral. It doesn't really matter to you. What matters is these stages, like Asia Cups, World Cup coming up. There'll be a lot of expectations on the Indian team, and as well as Rohit is aware of this. He knows for the fact that whole world wants these big tournaments to go in favor of India, and he's not any younger to make any mistakes. He's not some 25-year-old who's been given captaincy, and if you don't make it this year, it's fine, it doesn't matter. He's someone who probably is a lot older than everybody in the Indian team, and he knows for the fact that this is the time for him to make an impact. If not, obviously the selectors, everybody will have to look forward and see who's going to be the next man who's going to take India forward in this world cricket. So he knows that this period of Asia Cup, T20 World Cup, and the 50-over World Cup is going to be very crucial for him.
Fair point, Veda. Rohit Sharma has a lot to fulfill the wishes of the fans, rather to prove himself that he is the right captain who was been appointed. We'll have to wait and watch, Veda. Tonight's crucial game, I'm sure you will going to be saying India or Sri Lanka.
No, of course it's going to be India always, regardless of what.
Of course, going to be India always, regardless of what. Well, that's what Indian cricket is all about. The passion, the fans, even the cricketers, they want their team to do well. We'll have to see whether our boys deliver on the field. Thank you very much. We catch up with you Maybe, if God willing, India makes it to the final.
They will. We'll probably
right.
have a conversation about finals when we meet next.
And we play Pakistan and settle the score.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Okay, you take care. Have a great day forward.
You too. Bye-bye.